4, 3, 2, 1.
Whether you've been married 1 or 20 plus years, at some point you realize you married into crazy. And that's what our show is all about. If your marriage or relationship is compassionate, real, accountable, zealous and yielding, or just plain crazy, Snooks and Lovey offer love, laughter, and a dose of reality as they unpack this thing called marriage. Sit back, relax, and get your ear hustle on. It's time to start the conversation.
All right.
Welcome back to another episode of the Married into Crazy podcast with Snooks and Lovey. I'm Lovey.
I'm Snooks.
And once again, we are standing on the shoulders of giants. So for the month of February, we talk about a lot of different things throughout the year, but the month of February is very special to us because, number one, it's the month of love. And, you know, we're all about, marriages. We're all about lifting up the covenant of marriage. Mm-hmm. But number two, it's Black History Month. Mm-hmm. And so we're doing that tie-in between, love, more specifically this month, Black love, and how it affects or pours into Black history as well. We're doing this dotted line connection between the two. And so we're inviting a variety of individuals to come on to talk about their journey and how it ties into Black history as well. But before we go there, we're going to have some amazing guests on here in just a moment. But we want to remind everybody, if you're new to the Married into Crazy podcast, be sure to go over to either YouTube or wherever you download your podcasts, wherever you're comfortable getting them, and go ahead and subscribe to the Married into Crazy podcast. Mm-hmm. The easiest way to do it, quite honestly, is to go over to marriedintocrazy.com, hit that podcast tab, and then it makes it that much easier for you to select which one you use more often than not. So go there and look at all the different ways that we support marriage. Mm-hmm. So,
the sale.
You good?
The sale.
Uh-huh.
The sale.
The sale. Why don't you say something?
You was talking.
She's like, okay, so you see the director here. She likes to actually tell me what to do, and that's good.
That is
27 years of marriage, and I just say, yes, ma'am.
Did you literally just say yes, ma'am? Or you were giving me pushback? You were talking
It's
back.
recorded for posterity. I did say yes, ma'am.
You were talking back first, though. I felt you
I like it like this. I'm like, go put some leather on, girl. Put some leather on. We're going to make this real. No, hey, we joke all the time. But she's right. The month of February is the month of love sale. This is the last week. You've only got several more days to go to shop.marriedintocrazy.com in order to participate in the 20% off. It's our biggest sale of the year to get some gear that lets the world know how married into crazy you really are. So be sure to go ahead and check that out as well. But without further ado, what I'd love to do is bring to the stage one of the most amazing couples that I have been after for quite some time. And it's hard because these folks are really doing it. They're out there moving and shaking. Last time we talked, they were out having a content creation session in Mexico. They travel in the world. Look, I'm trying to take pictures in my house. They travel in the world just for content creation and making sure that we can capture what they're doing as they're pouring into people all over the place. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome in doctors. I gotta get this right. Doctors, as in plural, Terrell and Karwanna Irving. Welcome, y'all.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
I know that's right. He said, don't forget about me.
That's right. He says, hey, I'm the legacy, so you are welcome for being able to talk to my parents.
That's funny.
So what I love to do is rather than me try and read something and always leave something out, I would love for you both to be able to introduce yourselves and what you do so that way we can really get into it and make sure that everybody knows how to actually really interact with you going forward.
Absolutely. You want to start?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm Dr. Caruana Irving. I am a government contract extraordinaire. And what I do in business is I teach entrepreneurs how to create generational wealth for themselves. So primarily, I love to work with people of the brown and Black descendant, teaching financial literacy and business principles that teaches us how to actually collectively go after the government for opportunities to help us grow and scale to 7 and 8 figures and beyond. And then Terrell Irving, who is my husband and partner and spouse does.
Well, what I do is I manage a lot of the marketing, and I also take our money and do investments. So what we do is we do a lot of rental investments and property investments. So what we're doing is we're making money make money. So we get the money on the front end, and we make money on the back end. So I take care of all the investment properties and things of that nature.
Yep.
See, that's what's up. Look, I don't know if y'all caught it, and I couldn't find my air horn button, but he said we make our money make money.
That's right.
And if you missed the preamble, Dr. Karwanna said, 6, 7, and 8 figure contracts.
Yes.
They ain't playing, y'all. This is amazing. So what I'd love to do is find out. So because we're trying to balance the two between love and Black history, I'd love to hear how you two met each other. How long you've been married? What's your love story?
That's a long story.
That's a long story.
We actually met, I think I was probably 13, 14 years old. I was in high school, and my best friend is his cousin. So my best friend and I used to hang out at his mom's house, and basically at that time I used to call her Auntie Ann. And so I met Terrell because he used to always pop up around the house every so often. And I was like, who is that? He was fine, cute, curly hair, all this stuff. But he was older than he was like 4 years older than me. But when you're growing up like that age, 4 years is like, that's a grown man. He too old. Yeah, so that's initially how we met. But initially we were like, he was like, that's my little cousin. So he called me his little cousin. And we both had a lot of things in common, like as far as our love for the music industry back then. And so years passed and
hey,
years passed.
Here we go.
Like over 20 something odd years later, we hadn't talked to or seen each other in over a decade. And we Facebook actually brought us back together. And so that was pretty much the end of the story. And then when I was like, how's Auntie Ann? She was like, you can't call me Auntie no more.
Exactly.
I was like, okay. All right, Mama Ann.
I know that's right.
So how long have you two actually been married?
11 years. We've been together for 11 years, and we got married about 6 years ago.
Yeah, about 6 years ago.
Okay. And I love that you have your children. See, one of the things that sometimes that we as a people get caught up in is, we got to portray a certain, it's got to be, there's a lot of rigidity, right?
Yeah.
I was just talking to someone about how, as a matter of fact, we were at a marriage group gathering last night, and we were talking about kids and the way that we were raised versus how we raise our kids versus grandchildren. And it was like, when we were coming up, it was like kids are supposed to be, seen but not heard, and this, that, and the other. And I love that your son is there with you right now, because they need to see how the recipe is really made, right? How they need to see mom and dad really doing things. And I love how you take them on your trips. And I said low key, I'm following y'all, and how they're there in the mix. They actually see it, so it's not an anomaly.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. So I think that I grew up in that era too, where the kids wasn't involved in the finances, so we just thought everything was free, because it was handed to us, and we didn't know what it really took to be an adult and to raise kids. We didn't understand what it took to live real life, and so for us, it was very important for us to keep our children involved in the things that we're doing, so they can understand as we're out creating generational wealth. They need to know the work that goes behind the scenes into it, so they can also be financially literate on how to maintain it forward. So this is why little sir, he's been around millionaires and billionaires, and he's been on all the trips. He knows what it's like to travel the world, which opens and expand his mind and all those things. So,
yeah. Same thing with the teenagers. We try to make sure that we involve them as much as we can. Fly them out and have them involved in different masterminds and different boot camps and things of that nature. That way they can actually see what we're doing. They can actually participate in the things that we're doing. So that's a great thing with them as well.
That's incredible. I can only imagine what the conversation's like around the table, come Thanksgiving. Most people are talking about, oh, did you see that episode of XYZ? But no, y'all, the Irvings are like, hey, what's going on with that investment, Dad, that we made
Crazy.
It's hilarious that you said that because I talk about this a lot, online and in my content and with my clients. I tell them how Thanksgiving at our house, when people are like, I want to go to Auntie Karwanna house, I'll be like, come on, because we're gonna have a round table. We're gonna talk about universal index life policies. We're gonna talk about entrepreneurship. We're gonna talk about government contracts and Robert Kawasaki cash flow.
Exactly.
That game right there teach you how to get out of the rat race. So those are the conversations that we have. And by the time they leave our house, they're like, oh my God, my mind is blown.
Yeah, they're motivated. They're motivated. When people leave here, they be like, well, I'm gonna do. The fire gets burnt under them.
Definitely.
You come here for a holiday, we're gonna definitely feel the fire.
We're gonna give you an earful.
Definitely.
Then they come see our awards.
Yeah.
The $1 Million Day Award. One of our nephews last year, because we were fortunate because of the work that we do, able to secure like $1 million in a day. And they saw that award and we're like, what is this?
Lost his mind.
And we were like, this is the result of entrepreneurship. And everybody now like, I want to start a business.
Hey, the boy sat there in the theater, and he just kept staring at the shields. And I guess he wanted to ask me, so he finally asked. He was like, what is that? I said, oh, that's a $1 Million Day Award. He said, in a day? I said, yeah, in a day. He said, he went and told Mother Cousin, he said, we need to figure out a way to make sure we be like them. And from that point on, he was inspired, and he was actually pushing to he likes to spend money and everything else. He stopped spending money. He started wanting to do better.
I love it. So tell me, what actually got you all started on this road? Like, how did you be like, you know what?
Doing
This is
government.
what we gonna do.
I think, it was.
We were working together.
It was doing the contracting. So prior to doing contracts with the government, I had my own business. He had his own business, but we were both broke business owners, like struggling in business, trying to figure out how to make it work. And then we learned how to secure lucrative government contracts, and that started us having like this amazing cash influx that we was like, we have so much money, we don't know what to do with it. Then we really started thinking about who do we need to connect with that's going to show us how to grow our money so we don't end up back broke. And then that momentum just kind of spiraled into helping other people do what we were doing, and then spiraled into creating not only wealth for ourselves and trusts and legacies for our own family, but teaching other people how to do it as well. And so it evolved from teaching people how to make money with the government to teaching entrepreneurs, especially Black and brown entrepreneurs, how to create wealth, redistributing the government's money.
Because we just discussed this a few days ago. How much have you pushed for the
helping other people? I think over the past 3 years alone, over 20 million. Pumped back in the Black and brown community, which is huge.
So we were just discussing this like 2 days ago.
So
that deserves an air horn.
One of those buttons. That's what I need. I need me to one of those.
Look, he said we listen. Okay, I just for those of you that are listening and watching, they didn't get up here and say, "Yeah, over the last 3 years, we made 20 mil, and this is what we did." No, they said we helped others make $20 million, over $20 million.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think what's lost in translation is that so many people coming up through the 80s and the 90s, and I just told my age, and it was about get yours, right? We came up watching New Jack City. It was all about get your, Cash Money Brothers, CMB. It was about get your money, and somewhere along the lines, you decided, you said you started catching this money coming in, and you just, what T said, we had so much money coming in, we didn't know what to do with it. But rather than just like, okay, let's go buy the cars, let's go buy, the shoes, let's go buy the yachts. You were like, how are we going to turn this around and teach people? There's a mindset shift there.
Absolutely.
That is very different from, I think it's an abundance mindset, and how do we teach others as opposed to a scarcity mindset. What got you from being broke business owners, right? Yeah. Hustling to how do we actually multiply this and help others? What was that trigger? What was that? How did you pivot?
Well, definitely, initially, we did make all those broke decisions.
Oh, we made those decisions.
Oh, yeah, we made a lot of broke
trust
decisions.
Me, we spent some money.
We didn't have what? We didn't
Range
have the Rovers,
and
the Benzes, and then we looked at all that mess.
Oh my God.
Nothing but liabilities, and was like, what did we just do? So we learned from our mistakes.
Yeah.
And I think the pivotal moment for us was like having coaches. Like, you have to have a coach at every level in life that's going to teach you how to get unstuck and get out of your own way, because you don't know what you don't know until you connect with someone who's already made it past the level that you're trying to reach or whatever. That's going to show you, here's how you don't make those mistakes again. Right?
And you don't know you in your way until someone actually shows you that you have obstacles in your own way. You know, that you actually put in your way. So you don't know that until someone enlightens you. So
it was the coaching, the mentoring, and just being in a room with other high level, like-minded couples and entrepreneurs that were accomplishing. They had big dreams and big goals. And so our dreams and goals of just having this stuff evolved to creating legacy. And for us, that legacy came with assets. And so if you don't have assets, all you have is a bunch of stuff that's just in the way, sucking up your money. So we wanted to figure out how to make our money grow. And that was which is definitely scripturally, right? That's what we're supposed to be doing, to multiply our wealth. And so we were doing the opposite of what we were called to do until we understood who we were and whose we were and what we were called to do. Once we understood that, then we understood which way to go.
Yes. Love it. I love it.
About making leverage moves and not just making moves, you know?
Yeah. So how difficult was it for y'all to do that? I mean, like you said, you made those mistakes early. You bought all the stuff and then you're like, wait, hold on, time out. You know, how difficult was it for you to make that shift to where everything, I don't know if you like just paused everything, like we need to stop as far as spending goes, but
I think it was just daily efforts, daily conscious efforts of being intentional of where we wanted to go and learning how to align our goals with action steps. Exactly. Because if you say that you want to, like we wanted to have houses and land and rental property and all these things, but also set it up in a way to where the mistakes that we make along the way, we're going to learn how to, master in those, become masters in those areas so that we'll have a blueprint for those who are coming behind us. And so in order for us to achieve those things, we had to have clear action steps of what we needed to do to get there, which is where the mentoring and the coaching come into place so that we're not wavering away from our ultimate goal. Yeah. So it was a daily conscious effort. Every single day you have to wake up and tell yourself, of course you want to affirm and be grateful and to be thankful for the things that you've accomplished or mistakes that you've made yesterday. But you also want to tell yourself all the things that you need to accomplish today that's going to get you at least one step closer to your ultimate dream.
One chop at a time. Chop at a time. It's all a big rock or a big tree, whatever you want to call it. So it's either about putting a hammer to the rock or putting an axe to the tree. One wheel at a time or one swing at a time. So it was a daily thing.
I think you make an extremely important point there. If you take a look at some of the books, some of the teachings that are out there, and some of you out there that are listening right now, and you're thinking, how do I get a coach? There's a lot of coaches out there, but be careful of who you actually align with. And if you don't really know, there are books. Books can also coach you, but it can't just be something you read and then put on a shelf and walk away from it. Mm-hmm. You've got to apply some of that knowledge. And what the good doctors Irving are talking about is specifically setting goals, right? So we talk about goals, and I think that there's a misconception that you set a goal and you look at your goals and you go after your goals, but sometimes the goals, that's the running through the tape. What Dr. Karwanna specifically stated was and so did Terrell, that chopping down that tree one swing at a time, taking action steps on a daily. There has to be, in order to even have a goal, that's great to have an end goal, but it's what's it going to take to actually get there? And I think that's a crucial step that many people miss as they're listening to people, to podcasts, to watching videos on YouTube, or following people like your mentor, Myron Golden. He talks a lot about what we need to do on a daily basis, but they just want to know, well, I just want to get there. That's my goal.
And that's a lot of people's mistake. A lot of people's mistake is just coming in and be like, you know what, I want to do this. I want to make it happen tomorrow. A lot of people don't see the actual steps. People think that you just came in and was like, you know what, I threw some money out there and it came back to me. No, that didn't happen like that. It took a lot of time and effort and up late nights and back and forth bickering with each other and getting on each other's nerves and things of that nature to make it where we are now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yes.
You see that loving look she cast, like, yes. Valid point. You're talking about the late nights and the bickering, not arguing, but the
trying to come to
there's spirited discussions.
Spirited discussions
that take place. But see, not only are you two business partners, you are husband and wife. True. How's that dynamic been? Loving and working together.
It works and it works.
It works and it works.
Yeah, like something is working on you until it can work for you. I would say that.
Oh, is that right?
Absolutely. So no, definitely. Like we love working together.
Yes, right.
But yeah, there are times where he gets on my nerves and I get on his nerves and things of that nature. But we got to keep our eyes on what the ultimate goal is and just get through our stuff. Like I might be mad at him for a day, and in the next morning it's like nothing ever happened.
Yeah, I'm looking like, do you remember yesterday? But it's like we let each other know. It's always good to let a person know, hey, you're getting on my nerve. Yeah. Instead of just holding it in and allowing a person to just get on your nerves until you get to the point to where you just don't like this person anymore. So I know where I get to the point to where I know I've really, got on her nerves, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just take some time. She does the same. But we let each other know, you get on my nerves. That way there's no secrets.
And then we get up and say, let's go get this money.
Exactly. And because it don't matter about our nerves.
We still got
things to do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's funny. I love it. So let me ask you about more towards Black history. So beyond romantic love, how does Black love manifest in your community and individual lives?
How does Black love manifest? I think that for us,
we're from the same community, so it's
we grew up in the same community.
We grew up in the same community, so it's different ties. It's different close ties, and we have a lot of individuals that, our thing of love was different, from the way other people loves are in suburban lifestyles and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Us being where we're from, so. Me myself, I'm gonna really say, as far as my history of love, I wasn't shown how to really. My mom showed me how to respect women, but growing up, I never really learned how to have that real love for a woman. I never really knew what real love for a woman meant. I just knew how I'm with you. That's all. Hey, I'm with you. Period. Ain't I here? Aren't I around? So I took that as me being around, as far as, oh, I love you. I'm showing you I love you just because I'm here. So that was a different type of history for me. But now I've learned how to actually really love somebody.
Yeah. And then as far as how do we see Black love show up in the community? I think just giving and caring for each other and having respect for other people. And then we open up opportunities for people, out of our own love, we open up opportunities for people to, we have a space where we have a poetry event and people come out and they express themselves. And, it's just something that we do out of the love of our own hearts. And people genuinely really appreciate just the fact that we will come back to give back in that way. And just showing up for other people and being there to support our friends, when they're in need and things of that nature. I think that's how we continue to show love.
That's wonderful. And you stand on your word. And I want people to realize that when you talk about that, you don't just talk about that. You live that. You're about that life. Yeah. And I think there's no greater testament to Black history than not only respecting it, but also creating it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
And the two of you are creating Black history as we speak.
Exactly.
There's a sign behind you right now
Exactly.
Yeah.
Talk to us about Dream Achievers University.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
right behind
It's
us
right
too.
behind us, too.
So we are this is 2024. We're the first in our community to create our own fully accredited college university, and it's really for the opportunity to give back to people, the opportunity to get an education that doesn't cost them an arm and a leg,
Exactly.
right? A full 4-year degree that does not take you 4 years to get it. So you get your time back. And because I know education is key, especially the more you know, the more you can grow, the more you know, the higher you can earn as well. But the miseducation that we've been exposed to,
It takes that long to
it's
do it.
basically it takes longer to do it, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's very impossible to reap a profit off of your hundreds of thousands of
A
dollars.
lot of people don't. A lot of people don't work on their degrees.
It just don't. It just don't happen like that. So, so we wanted to put together a program where we can offer education that anybody can afford, that's accessible for people, and they can even pay out of pocket. They don't have to get student loans or any of that stuff. And while they're learning, they can actually implement the things that they're learning and actually make more money than it costs for the cost of education.
Exactly.
So that's what Dream Achiever University comes from. Should help people achieve their dreams.
A lot of people, you have to imagine. I'm sorry. A lot of people just cannot go to college. Not saying that they're not smart enough. They just cannot afford it. A lot of people, they can go to city college, this and that, but they can't go to university. They can't get a degree because of the fact that they just can't afford it. So by being able to come and give that opportunity to individuals, I mean, it just felt great.
I think that's amazing. And do the horn.
I'm sorry.
That need like 2 horns, because on everything, I promise you, I that just resonates with me so much, just in my soul. Number one, as you all said, first of all, I'm looking at this beautiful black couple. That is so what's up right there, because that's not something that you hear about, and I don't even know how many people are in your space that look like you. You know what I mean? So just having it, and not just number one, just not number one, but like number two, whatever. Thinking just about yourself. You're trying to improve and empower others around you, so that when we go on vacation, I'm going with some folks that look like me. So we can all have a good time. Because I know that, like you said, you travel, and whenever we travel, I check out the scenery and I'm like, who looks like us? Not that maybe on one hand I could count, know.
Definitely.
So just the fact that you're not just thinking about, I'm finna get mine and it's just gonna be about me, you're being a servant leader, because you alluded all the way right back to the scripture, some other points about multiplying and stuff like that. We need to take this opportunity, fully accredited. And you said folks can afford it.
Yeah.
People don't go to college because, number one, I can't afford it. I'm going to take 10 years plus to pay off a student loan in a degree that I may not even work in. And even if I do work in that degree, how much money am I going to make?
Exactly.
So
enough to pay it off.
Definitely not that.
right. Right. Exactly. So I commend you. I think that's not even just awesome. That's beautiful. That is so beautiful. And trust, we really gonna get the information, because we got some coming up after us. People need to know about this so that they can go and get some education and learn, as they go. Because education, that is the key. That is the key. I know a lot of people, I don't want to, and blah, 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 and it doesn't matter. It does matter, because it will open up doors that were closed to you before. The doctors have already said it, y'all. Y'all not just hearing it from Snooks. The doctors have said it. Doctors, plural. I love it. No,
that's great.
You guys,
I have a brother-in-law that's a professor at a university, and it used to be, it was great to be the one to go to college in your family. There's a lot of firsts within our generation, right?
I was the first.
See what I'm saying? And it's like first in my family to go, and and first to graduate. Those are taking place. And it used to be nice to be like, ooh, I see a professor that looks like me, and he's like, man, that's amazing. There's somebody up here that's actually teaching. And now we're graduating to no, wait. Now there's somebody that looks like me that started a university, that owns the university, that's creating opportunity, that's writing the check.
Yes.
And that's something that people need to take note of.
Wow.
And also that you're not a unicorn. This can happen. These types of opportunities do abound, but this may be the first time we're seeing somebody that may look like us being the one on the other side, and now forging a path for the rest of us to do something similar. So I commend you. I really do. We talk about Black history, Black love. You are the personification of both, not only paying homage, but also creating steps and paths for others that come after you to do what you're doing, and then to say, hey, now, okay, ante up. All right, son, what are you going to do now? We've taken it here. I'm going to pass the baton to you.
Right.
So what's next?
Right.
Exactly.
I love that. So do me a favor. Right now, I know that you're extremely busy, and we've been playing tag and trying to get things going. How can the audience actually reach out and get in touch with you to follow you? Like, all the handles, all the different ways for Dream Achiever University, but then also for, learning how to, somebody might say, oh, I provide a service and I'd like to actually get a contract with the government.
And I think that especially for those who are entrepreneurs, if you are thinking about starting a business, if you want to really leave a legacy, there are trillions of dollars that are floating around in the government's hand that they're looking to give to small businesses, especially small Black and brown businesses and women-owned businesses. And that has been really the key for us to be able to create the things that we have created and put back into the marketplace. That has been the pivotal point in our lives to where we're able to do things like travel the world, start a university, give back to our communities, create a legacy for our children, all those things, and to have our territories enlarged to where we're able to impact people's lives globally. And so if you're interested in learning more about how to secure government contracts, so you can also be a redistributor of wealth and to do things in your community that you love to do using the government's money, because they have plenty of it, right? They have more than us because they print it, right? Definitely check us out at Karwanna D Speaks on Karwanna D Speaks on Instagram, Karwanna D on YouTube, and dreamachieveruniversity.com for the school information.
And you can catch me on He's Got Goals. Oh, we forgot about She's Got Goals. So she has She's Got Goals. You can also hit her on She's Got Goals on her page. Also, He's Got Goals 2 on Instagram and Facebook.
That's good. We're going to have all of that listed in the show notes for you, just easy click. So we're trying to take away all the excuses. There's no reason why you can't pursue your dreams or begin to dream, and then get the action steps behind those dreams to make sure that you achieve those things. And I love that phrase, the redistribution of wealth.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
To increase all of our territories. You better say something, J Bass. I know that's right. I love it. I do. I love it. And just y'all's energy together, I love that too. We love everything love. I do. Probably maybe more than Lovey does.
He don't know about him.
He don't know about that. Look, I love her, so what she love, I love.
That's it. You love what she love. That's what's important right there.
Awesome.
But it's not. I love that. Even how you said, when you don't, there are moments where you're just like, ugh, you get on my nerve, but you still keep it. All right, so you on my nerve, but we finna still go do our thing. I cannot imagine. I'm just going to put it out there. I love my husband to death. I love my husband to life. I love him. But every day working with him.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming.
Because when we got to do the podcast, I was like, he on my nerves, and it's only been 3 minutes, and we are only 3 minutes in, and I'm just like, nah, bruh. We can't. I don't know how we, So I'm gonna look at y'all and be like, okay, breathe.
And everybody was like, "Hey, I want to be like." I'm like, "Look, check this out. Be careful what you ask for." I'm like, "Be careful what you ask for," because, like I say, it's not a bad thing. We have a great relationship. We're friends. We're partners. You know, the whole nine. But like I say, it's always, you know, it's always going to be something. You know what I'm saying? She's not. If she agreed to everything I said, then we'd be faking. If the same thing, it'd be fake. You know, so we have to keep it real with each other first to be able to keep it real with anybody else.
That's right. That's
what's
right.
up. Look, we appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for spending time with us.
Hey, no problem. No problem. Thanks for
it's I learned a lot. There was some reinforcement there, and I felt like a challenge. You know, it's like that old challenge. I feel like we got that old episode. I'm like, okay, university. Okay, let me
seriously.
Let me figure that out.
Not even a challenge to do better.
Like, come with us.
Yeah, a challenge to do better.
Definitely.
To be able to just, I mean, we can empower about the love part and everything, but I love that. So being connected, because now it's like, for those people who don't listen to the podcast, but I know some people personally that would benefit. And, you know, a lot of people would resonate and relate with y'all specifically because you are African American, you know, and they could see, it's like now y'all could see somebody that's actually doing it. It's not fake, you know. So if they could do it, you could do it also. So
it's not like it's unreachable, you know.
Right.
I mean, these are things that are in reach. You know, it's just about, I mean, like I said, having the right partner. Because if I didn't have this partner right now, I mean, it'd be different. You know what I'm saying? It'd be different, you know. So basically by having her as a partner, it actually helps me to choose my other partners and my other businesses very wisely.
That's what's up.
Got it.
Look, hey, folks, go back, rewind, take some notes, get your notes, underline, highlight, and then listen to it again. Because there's definitely some nuggets here for all of us to participate in, to really figure out how do we get to that next step, whatever that may be for you, whatever that next level is. The Irvings can help you get there, right? So keep listening to the Married and the Crazy podcast. The Doctors Irving.
We're gonna say that, the doctors.
I feel like that's an album, The Doctors Irving. You know, did you get the Doctors Irving? Did you get that album?
We can make
It's like the Brothers Johnson.
I was getting ready to say
Make
that.
a Kool-Aid. Irving Kool-Aid.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. Look, I want to see that on YouTube. Look, y'all, again, thank you. Listen, everybody, like we always say, there's information here. Information is great. They say that knowledge is power. It's not true. Applied knowledge.
Right now,
That's
the most powerful thing.
Absolutely.
So take everything you've heard today, apply it, get your life moving in the direction that you want it to. And you know that you have a university that's going to be at your access, and it will be in the show notes. So like we always say, until the next time,
be blessed.
Be blessed.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Take it easy, guys.
All right, cool.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy E.T. Look, if you're looking to, or you got to raise the bar on your marriage, you gotta click the link and get into Married and the Crazy, y'all. I'm telling you, this coaching is gonna take your relationship to another level. Now look, you already know you need to raise the bar. You know that already. So stop thinking or overthinking. Click that link, and Marriage and the Crazy is gonna take you and your spouse to marital bliss. Now you know. Click the button. Let's go.
Thank you for listening to the Married into Crazy podcast with Snooks and Lovey. Please like, subscribe to, and review the show wherever you access it, and tell a friend about us. Visit marriedintocrazy.com and see how Snooks and Lovey can bless your marriage directly.